Thank you for becoming a 120 Club member. And we're going to cover how to properly fill out a petition sheet. Once you've given us your contact information and we've mailed this information to you, you'll receive a petition sheet that looks like this on the right, and then there will be a guideline on how to fill out the petition sheet. And that's what we're going to cover today. The reason we want to cover this is because the Secretary of State is going to take our petition that you're going to fill out, and they're going to check certain items to make sure that it's correct. And if it's not correct, then they're going to reject this petition sheet. And we want your work to be counted, so we're making this video so that we can show you exactly what they're looking for so that we can eliminate any of the mistakes. I'd like to cover a little bit about the petition sheet itself. When you receive the sheet, if it's already printed, there will be a front section, and that's the front section that you see here where we sign the signatures, and then there will be the back side of this sheet. This is a legal size sheet of paper. It's not letter size, it's legal size. And in this form, it has to have a front side and a back side. Now, the back side actually has a letter from the Attorney General, and it also has the language of our petition. In order to show that to you, I'm going to show you one that's already been an example that has some blacked out signatures, but for now I want to go over the different parts on the front of the sections. First off, this is not the original. We will have the original when the Attorney General approves our language and we get it correctly written up with the title that she gives us. And then we will change this. So you'll see this when you have your original. So it'll have the basic title on the top. The section over to the right, I want to share this with you. This all belongs to the Secretary of State, so when they're validating our sheet, they'll write on this, so do not write in this area. When we go to your county to collect, all the signatures from the towns and the cities have to be in that county. So if someone is out from another county, you need to pull out another sheet, let them sign it, print their name, date of birth, address, city and town, and then the date they sign it, and then ask them the county and put that county here. Set that to the side, and if you come across somebody else, then pull this back out for that county. That's going to happen quite often, so you want to have extra sheets to be able to collect the different counties. You can have one signature here and that county that they're from, then that's okay, or you can have a complete sheet. Now, when we're talking about filling this in, the registered voter is the only person that can sign a petition. There's a lot of people who think that they're a registered voter that haven't voted in years, and they're not even on the roll. They think that they're registered. So the best way to ask a person is to simply say, hey, did you vote in the last election? If they say yes, then they're a strong candidate that their information is going to be correct. Also, you have to be 18 to vote, so they have to be over 18 years of age. The other thing is they need to be in the county that you are in collecting the voters' signatures, and you have to put down the city and the town. And we're going to cover more details as we go over the guidelines. The guidelines are over here on your left. They're in a PDF form, and then we have them broken down so that you can either display them. I recommend that you print them out and carry them with you. So if you're getting ready to get some friends to help, they can read these. They can be informed about how to properly fill these out to get the best success ratio. Let's talk about the success ratio. Basically, what we have is about 20 to 30% of all signatures are going to be rejected by the Attorney General. So when we say we need 120,000 signatures, that's taking in consideration the 20 to 30% of the signatures that won't count. And we're going to cover the do's and the don'ts of why the Secretary of State says they won't count them. I went down to the Secretary of State, talked to the director of the elections division that actually count these, so he was able to give me some insight, and I'm going to pass that on so that we can have a high success rate. But we're still going to bank on the 20 to 30%. But we can prevent a lot of that if we'll just watch this video and do what they recommend us to do. First off, let's talk about the signature. Try to get them to do it legibly. I know a lot of people scribble, but then make sure that the printed name can be read. And you might even ask them, they're going to check the rows, so just be nice to them and just say, would you please print where we can read it? And then the same with the date of birth. They have to fill out all this information about them, and then they have to sign it. The only way someone else can sign for, or not sign, but fill the printed section out for them if they are disabled. And then they have the ability to mark their signature. The example I was given by the director of elections is, say we have a soldier that comes back from a war and he lost his hands. He can take a pen or he can take a ballpoint pen and he can scribble his signature, and then you could print out the information for that person if they give you permission. But you cannot sit there and fill out the information. The registered voter must fill all of this out. And if they see a pattern of repeated same type print in the same order, then that whole sheet's going to be taken out and they look like it's been done by the same person. I know we're not doing that, but that's some of the things that they had mentioned to us. So if we just simply allow the registered voter to complete the line themselves, then we'll eliminate a lot of that problem. When we come down and complete this sheet, the sheet does not need to be finished as far as the responsibility of a canvasser. Down here below the box is information that you, the canvasser, will fill out, but don't fill this out until you're in front of a notary. Now, the lead person that's in charge of your county has a notary available so that your sheet can be notarized, and it has to be notarized. Now, the election department said below this box between the canvasser filling their information out and the notary filling their information out are where the majority of the errors are found that end up losing these 10 signatures. So this is very important. When the canvasser, are finished, only fill your section here out in front of a notary. The notary has to see you sign your name, fill your name in, and sign it. And you have to put your resident address on next to your signature. So the way this works is you may be in, say, Pulaski County and getting these signatures, but you may live in Saline County. And so the notary can be anywhere in the state, so their location, their stamp may even say another county. But in front of them, you would put the county you're in right here, then your name, then your signature, and your residence where you live, and that you're a volunteered, unpaid canvassers. We cannot collect any money or get anything of value for getting signatures. You can't give them anything, and we can't give you anything. So that makes you a volunteer, and you're stating that you're a volunteer. You didn't receive any funds or anything of value to go collect these signatures. And then that notary will notarize this. So we have to double check to make sure that the notary signs it, that the notary stamped. They'll put their stamp right in this section. I'm going to show you one that's filled out soon in a second, and you'll see how one looks completed. And then we have to make sure that their notary isn't expired. We'll check that, but you can double check it too just to make sure, and then you can get it corrected. So you don't want to lose these signatures. And that's really the main areas of where we're going to have problems. Make sure that they print clearly, make sure that they're a registered voter in the last election, that they're 18, that they're in the county of where the city is, so that you can, now they don't have to be in the county when they sign this. You just have to get their information and the county that they're from in this section here. Now let me show you one that actually is a petition that was completed that the Secretary of State sent me, and this is how the real ones are going to end up looking like. And I want to look over on my notes here, make sure that I'm covering all the notes. This is a good, this PDF file of our guidelines are here. If you have any questions, you can call our phone number or you can shoot us an email and we will respond to you and answer your questions. So here's one that was used for the alcohol beverage amendment. And you can see that they were in Jefferson County. Then you can see that they gave their information and how it will look. Then on the bottom, notice this, the state of Arkansas County, Jefferson, they kind of scratched that out and then put Pulaski and corrected it. Now, I don't know the story of why, but I'm assuming that when the notary was here, they accidentally wrote, because they were used to writing Jefferson when they went down to Pine Bluff to get these signatures, that she was probably here in Saline County. You can see her stamp. So they probably came back up to Pulaski County or someplace, and they hired or had this notary available and accidentally just put in Jefferson, but this person was actually in Pulaski. So that's why you want to leave this section alone and just put in the county of where you sign this in front of the notary. Then fill out your information, do the signature, and your residence. You have to have the permanent residence of where you live in this section. Then the notary will fill this out. Now, there's a couple other issues about how to fill this out. Only use a ballpoint pen. You'll notice that they used a marker on this to mark out the names to protect them so that we could actually use this. But if you were to use a felt pen, something that would bleed through the paper, that will destroy this document, and here's why. On the back of your petition, you're going to have the ballot language that the Attorney General will be here on the left. You're going to have this so they can actually read it. And then you're going to have the instructions from the Attorney General over here. Both of these will have to be on the back. That's why when I said if you print these on your own, they have to be legal size paper, front and back. They have to have this. The information on the front, which is up here, and then on the back side of it, it has to have this. And then we have to make sure that nothing disturbs the language on the back of this sheet, or the whole sheet will not be counted. In other words, if you had a marker and someone wrote through that and it bled through and it marked out any of the words, the to, the or, the one, anything, or any portion of this, if any of it is not legible at the time we turn it in, then they will throw that whole sheet out. So the best way we know to do that is to use a ballpoint pen only and then protect it. When you are out with a notebook, the recommendation is, due to rain, so that the raindrops won't mess up your sheet, is to get a clear piece of plastic, some sort of plastic that can go over the top sheet of your petition, and then just roll it back so when people sign it, if it's inclement weather on a clear day, it's probably not a problem. So you want to protect the moisture from destroying the document. Then once you complete these, and you're out for the day and you're coming in, you want to get these. Remember, do not sign these unless you're in the presence of a notary. So leave it blank. And then when you get together with the person that's going to collect these and then send them to the Arkansas Term Limit Office, then you will fill this out. So protect these. We need 120,000, and there's going to be 10 per sheet. So you can see how many sheets we're going to be dealing with and making sure that all of them are correct. If you have any questions whatsoever, give us a call at 825-0190 or email us at restoretermlimits@gmail.com. Thank you.